Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Project Fear 8, where we discuss the episode. This is my friend and investigator, Lucy. Hello, Lucy. So, they should know what we're doing by now. You have to watch Project Fear's episode and we give our opinions, and feel free to give us yours in the comments. I haven't watched the previous episode this time. I've only watched the new episode. This building they are in here, Indiana State Sanatorium, it became a nursing home and then fell to abuse and neglect. Just another place which seems to have a darkness to it.
Yeah.
504 acres. These places are so massive, aren't they?
They're huge. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Fine. Okay, so there's a nursing home they call it Shadow Hall. There was that moan caught when they were down in the tunnels. Instantly, I was just pondering, wind, but who's to say? I don't really know how wind operates in tunnels because we don't really have the light in this where we go.
No, there's not as many, even cellars or any that we don't have them as much, do we, over here, or underground tunnels connecting places really, unless it's like military and we never get to go there. So
hard to say. Dakota ends up outside on the thermal camera. I don't know about you, but I felt a bit sorry for him, like he's missing out.
I did. It must have felt really vulnerable. I think it was a great idea to have someone outside, especially after what they caught last time. But to have this big scary building in front of you and then woodland and you're hearing stuff. Oh, yeah. He was brave to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I'm thinking more of the fact that I'd be bored.
I don't know, because I think I'd be on edge. I don't know if I'd get bored. I wouldn't know where to look. I'd be constantly like, is there something there? Is there something there?
Yeah. So they're talking about the residential building and going to room 409. And I just clocked that it was crumbling, the old paint peeling off. And so I'm expecting the usual noises that we've had in other weeks, sort of pops, clicks, bangs, to discuss crumbling building, but it never came up.
No, I think it was good that they addressed the fact that that it was in that state and that there's potentially animals and potentially people.
Yes.
But with the crumbling stuff, I don't think we've ever been in a building that's that, in disrepair that much. I don't think, have we?
No. So, that's just speculation. Now, Dakota hears voices, and we hear them on camera. I mean, you can hear people talking, but they're talking just like normal folk wandering by. It wasn't like I don't know, there was almost nothing paranormal about it. That was my thought.
There's a lot of other things it could have been, but he did, when he said, like, surely in the dark, if people were walking around, you'd see a torchlight, wouldn't you? Like, would they really be just walking around in the dark?
But if you remember the case before, where there was the story of the ghostly voices caught, and it was from a quarry a mile away.
Yeah, so maybe the wind was blowing in the right direction, and
had it been something more than just, anyway, I said Sheila, do you know what I mean? If it was something, it was just like, anyway, and I said to her, it was just nothing. And then branches, there were snapping noises. But we've investigated cemeteries with woodland in, and the animals, the birds, there's always crackling. And I thought, that's kind of what it's like when you're outside, and it is unnerving. And it does sound like people are coming towards you. I've definitely reacted like, Jesus, someone's walking through the woods. But, I personally, I just kind of brushed that off. But you never know.
I think that, like I said, there's so many more things it could be before it's paranormal with that. Especially when you're outside.
Yeah. So they use the SB7 spirit box. Is there someone here right now? And it seemed to say me. And then who are you? And there was a girl's voice for sure came through. And I noticed they were using it on a slower speed than us. It was rather than. So I mean, we only used it last night, so we kind of can tell that instantly. And you obviously, the slower you do it, the more longer flashes of radio you get, but still didn't seem to be anything obviously radio come through it. Where are you right now? Can you see us? And then they get the word downstairs. I was like, that's good. I like that. Then the cold shaded part below them that flickered over the window, what Dakota got excited about. What are your thoughts on that?
I think paranormal, because it was similar to something they caught last time, but last time it was a hot signature. This time it was cold. And to team it with the spirit saying downstairs, to then catch something directly downstairs go past, I don't agree that it was necessarily a child, because I think the angle would mean it would depend. It could be a really tall person, but just further back in the room. But I do think it was paranormal. I just don't think I could really decipher what it was supposed to look like, whether it was an adult, a child. But definitely it looked, I don't know why, but to me, when I watched it, it looked like, I don't know if this is just my brain trying to piece it together, but it looked like someone was being pushed past in a wheelchair quickly.
Okay.
Like, yeah, because it almost sort of looked like something was tilted back.
Yeah.
And going at a speed. Yeah.
I agree with everything you said there. Yeah. I just thought when you looked in the room, there's the window and then there's kind of an open door to the corridor. So you just have to be further back to look smaller, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. So I was like, was it a little kid? It's hard to say. They move on to Estes method. Good. Dakota gets that duty. He gets help. What do you need help with? Getting out. And yeah, that's excellent. You know, that really seems to work for them. I don't know whether you think that some teams have better use, a better connection with certain pieces of evidence capture, but
I think so. I think I've found that like the more you do Estes method and get into a rhythm with it, the more it works. And I think the team in general that are doing it together, I think they'll get better results because they're close. And, you know, I think if you went on a public paranormal investigation and you were doing it with someone who you didn't know,
yeah,
I don't think it'd gel quite as much. But yeah, and props to Dakota, because sitting in a rocking chair with your back to certain rooms and you're blindfolded, and wow, well done to him, because that made my hair stand on end watching him sat there.
Yeah, I agree. So what is the part you hate most about being here? And it said far away. I mean, I know they were like, maybe they came from far away. Don't know. I don't know what that meant, but what was life like here? A zoo? And I thought, yeah, makes amount of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So they were chatting, sort of saying can you imagine that every bed being full? And it said true, agreed. Do you like it when people visit this place? No. And it said I, quiet. What do you make of that, I, quiet?
I think it was a intelligent conversation, and that they were saying they like it quiet there. I think it painted a really good picture of what it would have been like, both when it was a TB hospital and when it was a care home, because yeah, it sounds to me like it was a really awful place to be, and to refer to it as a zoo. Yeah, I can totally get that, and the spirits probably just want to be left, I'd say, in peace, but are they really at peace if they're still trapped in the place that they were trapped in life?
Yeah.
It's sad, really, but I think it was the spirit just wanting people going in.
I don't know what you're like when you're sick, but when you're sick, I just want to be on my own. I don't want people to see me sick. I just want to curl up and watch telly or whatever, you know, and be out of view. And also I imagine when I'm old, I'm not going to be craving visitors. I just want to be locked away in my room again. So yeah, there is a sadness to the building, but yeah,
even then you expect the bare minimum of care from those that are being paid to care for you, you know, like you get to that point in your life where you're kind of helpless and you're just waiting for the end, aren't you? And it's horrible.
Yeah, horrible. Yeah. Alex then sees a shadow, male, I wrote, and then are you male? Okay. Hallway found me. And there's a cold spot. But yeah, Alex seeing this shadow and the flash of light, sees a flash of light and then a person They described it as both. Saw a flash of light and a person. Just exciting. You see how excited they are, and it's very difficult to catch things on video, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of the time we've filmed where people have seen things, and even though you've got it on camera, there's nothing to be found. Or audio, when people hear things clearly, you play it back, it's like, I hear nothing. And that is investigating.
Yeah. It brought up the question for me of, it reminded me of at doggy daycare, I was walking down that corridor and I saw somebody so clearly that I know it sounds silly. The main thing I remember about that is seeing the shape of the legs and being able to see through the gap in the legs to the wall behind and screaming. And when we checked the CCTV, because they have a camera pointing down that corridor, there was nothing there. So it made me think, when we see spirits, do we see them on some sort of different consciousness level where we can see them? Even the person next to you might see them, but a camera's not going to pick them up. I think that could very well be the case, and that maybe the only thing that a camera will pick up would be maybe light energy. I don't know, but it must have been really frustrating for them to physically see that and then look back and there's nothing there. Again, it speaks to the trust that we have in them, that we know, like, their reactions were incredible. They genuinely thought there was a person there, and it looked like they went down the avenue of, is that a human? Is that an alive person who's trying to creep us out, or maybe a homeless person in there? And I think that's when it's the most compelling, when you actually think there's somebody there, not oh, I've just seen a ghost, but you actually one there.
Yeah. The way that they didn't rush towards it, they physically stood still, were saying, I saw someone, and they wouldn't go towards it. Yeah, that's how real it was.
Yeah.
Now this reminds me, you were talking about seeing things on a different wavelength. It reminded me of when the team was in an underground cafe, what used to be a railway. Now my digital recorder was on the bottom step, and while I was out waiting for the medium, there was Sue of the team, Becky of the team, and another guy, a medium actually as well. And the three of them all heard the 12 footsteps going up the stairs, looked in amazement, thinking I was in the cellar coming up, but then realising I wasn't. And all reported, Chris, we've just all heard footsteps. Nobody materialised at the top. And I was like, brilliant, because my dictaphone is on the stairs. So I eagerly listened back on review. There's one footstep only. And they all, it's like, why didn't I hear 12 footsteps? So, because it works different in the auditory way, then maybe visually as well. Yeah, maybe it is some different thing going on here.
Yeah. And some people might think, well, then there's no point in having all these cameras and stuff. But I think there still is, because you can capture your experience of seeing that thing. And that's important as well.
Very, yes, absolutely. Yeah, being able to watch things back just to see your reaction and remind yourself how you reacted and stuff.
Yeah.
And logging the moment, because people's memory of it would be different to how it actually played out, wouldn't it, eventually?
Yeah.
So there was talk of it being a young girl as it was building up. It seemed to be a young girl and a male. But then Dakota seemed to say it sounded like an older woman and a man. Even so, and he was obviously hearing it first and foremost. So yeah, I don't know actually what was going on then. Cut to the tunnels. There's a distant noise again. I don't know how sound travels down a tunnel, but it's hard to say what was causing it, whether it was from outside or genuinely further down that tunnel. Eerie, I'm sure, hearing, if we were sat and we hear anything coming down a tunnel, that's weird.
Yeah.
They got on the PS device and it says darkness, which, it's just a word on its own, but it says dark then, which having such similarity is quite something, isn't it? Then they managed to do the classic, this is what it looks like without night vision.
Yeah, I always think of you when they do that now.
Yeah, I'm just like, shut up. Yeah. So Chelsea asked, why are we listening to this thing? Tell us to turn out our light. And I've had Jill before say to us, why are we trusting Spirit Sam? Or it might have been Jane actually. One of them said, why are we why are we listening to Sam all of a sudden, which is a spirit we know? Yeah, so she makes a good point. Why a spirit says turn out your lights? Why is it a good idea to turn out your lights? Who knows? But I guess you're just trying to pull out evidence, aren't you? You're trying to obey.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's something scary is going to happen, you're thinking, yeah, please give us the footage, give us the moment.
Yeah.
Then it says expect, and then need, people, sadness. Now, we spoke even last night about the spirit saying emotional energies and how sadness is something they can take energy from more than happiness or more than nothing, you know. Then it said company and need, people, sadness, company. It's an old folks home. It's people who are ill. Yeah, there's elements of truth in all those statements. There's movement again. There's a thump. There's a loud thump. Get, group, out. Yeah, this is us in York all over again, being told, you know, draw across. You're getting spiritually attacked. It did seem like there was someone saying, you are in danger down here. You need to, and not sort of saying, I'm going to hurt you, but something is going to hurt you.
This is the problem, though. It's like, and this is where investigators differ. It's like, do you leave at that point? Or do you, and thank the spirit for protecting you? Or do you stay to get proof that there's something evil down there? Because you know me, I would be like, I'm going to stay for a bit. But then other investigators are different, and they'd be like, no, I think, like, we're lucky that we've been warned. We should go before something bad happens. It's hard to know what to do.
It is. And they didn't say, yeah, okay, we're packing up, we're going. They were still sat there going, oh, yeah, you think we need to get out? Are you warning? You know? And it's like, yeah, when is the point that you say, okay?
Yeah.
You know, what would get you out?
It'd take a lot, I think. I think I'd have to have maybe seeing or the feeling of someone rushing towards me. Yeah, probably like footsteps getting closer and louder.
Yeah.
Or getting hurt, feeling like someone's touching me. It'd probably take something like that, yeah.
I think being touched, definitely. If things were building up and one of us felt like they'd been pushed, or I think then we'd have to take a step outside. Yeah. Just to be on the safe side. Now, what this transpires is, why should we get out of here? And wicked, it says, but then follows up with aggression, and then the camera dies. Now, they're all on the same battery powers. You know, they swap them all out in group. So the energy, it spoke about sadness, and I mentioned the emotional energy. The camera dies of one person. It then says evil as a word. I mean, wicked, aggression, evil, get out, equipment's going off. That's great evidence. And maybe that is a moment you need to say, let's just head outside these tunnels for a moment. And Dakota then hears something above. You know, they're in the tunnels and there's something above. Why is it always you're above and you hear something below, you go below, it's above? It always makes me think they are just as afraid of us that we are of them. So, yeah, that was where the episode ended for us now, when there's just the night vigils left. So where would you pick out of, you know, with the sort of rocking chair room or the tunnels or outside? What would you like to go to?
Probably the tunnels.
On your own?
Yeah. Yeah, but I do think I would be the most scared down there, because the tunnel, you could see where people had put tape, probably to find the way back where they came from. And Colin was saying you'd want to take glow sticks or something to show, so if you need to run, you can. So I think as long as I did something like that, I'd be all right. But yeah, I would be scared because you don't know which direction it's going to come from. And then it's even worse than being in a cellar with one exit going up some stairs, really, isn't it? Because it could come from that way, but you might have come from that way. So you have to run the other way.
Yeah, and there wasn't just like one long set of tunnels. They all seem to intersect.
Yeah,
and
where
so
would
like,
you...
tunnels there, where do you go, you know?
Yeah, where would you want to do the night time?
Yeah, the tunnels, I do admit. And the next sort of question is what I would want to do. I was going to ask you, you know, they've all been a dick to each other about someone's got some crap to do. Well, I propose to you that I think the worst thing would be to do like the rocking chair, blindfold, headphones in the tunnels, you know? And I guess that would be the most exciting but scary thing that I'd like to do. As long as the camera's rolling and captures whatever, maybe I don't hear. Yeah, so what's can you think of something else? What do you think they might throw into the mix? They've done the handcuffing. Nothing else jumped out to me that, you know.
No, unless there was like, I don't know. I think the sensory deprivation side of it is very good to do. I suppose if there was like old patient beds still there, maybe get someone to lay and pretend to be a patient.
Yeah.
Because they caught something while they were doing, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but they actually caught something while they were doing the readout, didn't they?
Yes.
So I think I would like maybe reenact. I don't know, it's really like dark, but maybe have one person pretending to be an elderly patient in the care home and then the other person shouting at them, you know.
Yes, that area. That's a great idea. Yeah, one of them dress up as in a white cloth, you know, and then be pushed around someone else in a wheelchair and maybe that is a good idea. I would always say crack a Ouija board out, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? Let's get some actual talking done. It doesn't seem like we're going to see a Ouija board anytime soon, sadly. But yeah, let's just see if anyone gets a short straw on this investigation, because the next episode is the last one of this series. Yeah. So onwards we go. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Lucy, for your time as well. And we'll see everybody in the next episode. See you later.